Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. Got a very special one for you today. This is when I went karting with my mate Bailey, who's just behind me, you'll see in a minute, at Team Sport Watford, for 3 little karting sessions. Now these sessions are absolutely crazy, so you want to stick around to see these absolutely insane battles with some racing drivers as well. I mean, I'm going to call them racing drivers. They got all the gear, they got all the ideas, so I'm going to call them racing drivers. But yeah, we're told to wait there, and we're going to go out for the first session in a minute. See Bailey just behind. We've both got little cameras that were given to us by Team Sport, which is very kind of them. And with a good luck from Bailey, it was time to go out for our first session. So the first half a lap or so is under yellows, and then they do a practice red to make sure everyone can abide to the lights. And so yeah, that's what we're going to do. But while we're there, we're going to do a little bit of tyre warm up. We're going to see what the kart's all about, just get into the feel of the kart. I have been here before this. This was at the end of January for Bailey's birthday, and yeah, I have been there before, so we're not complete novices. Parties and things, so yeah, and we really like the track. So we go on the red, and then all we're going to do is just focus on that light. And when that goes green, we are up to racing speed. And you can see I'm focusing on it, and it goes green now. Very good reaction, but we completely overcooked the hairpin because we tried to go full throttle immediately. This is what Bailey saw. He saw me fully sideways. Couldn't quite get me, but yeah, that was nearly been it instantly moment at the start. But we move. You can see how slippy the surface is already. It must be like some painted concrete or something, but it makes the racing and the driving all the more fun because you can just full throttle slide through most of these corners into the hairpin, then a little bit wide, but managed to get a good exit, and we're already sort of pulling away from Bailey. Hence our speed. We do have a little bit of a weight advantage, but that shouldn't make too much of a distance, so no excuses for Bailey to use. That's the only one he's got tucked up his sleeve. But yeah, this is full throttle through those hairpins, just gliding the car. Now we get another red, and I'm looking at Bailey and actually get a really terrible reaction to the light, so he's got a chance to catch me up here, and you can see the gap has come down because of that, but I'm still a good few cars lengths ahead, or kart lengths you could say, into the hairpin then, and he's getting caught up already by someone behind. So yeah, just getting caught a little bit already, and you see I'm pulling away there. I'm through the next hairpin, and we're flying oversteer constantly. You can hear shouts and screams in the background of people getting taken out. It's all chaos. This first session was a little bit quiet, not quiet, but for me at least, I just sort of ran away. But it was a good opportunity to get used to the karts, get used to the track, again, get a feel for it, and pump in some quick lap times. And I believe we were actually quickest this session by 0.2 or so. So that time is around low 57s, 56s I think, just because the surface is so slippery. You can see Bailey fighting already side by side with the guy in a green suit, and he managed to keep the position, but goes a little bit deep, cuts his oversteer, and then yeah, the green guy just comes up the inside, and there's a little bit of contact, and then another red. You can see this guy speeding under red. But we go for green anyway. Again, I don't think Bailey was too pleased about that, but that's going to be the least of his worries in this video. So yeah, back on board with me. So just going through the long left. I think that is definitely my favourite corner on the track. Full throttle, just fully sideways through the entire thing to keep the speed up. Up the top of the ramp then, into another long left-hander, keeping it pinned, just going to graze the wall on the inside there, try and use the maximum width of the track. On full throttle here, just pivoting the car through the apexes. A little lift there just because the kart comes in quite fast. and then down the ramp into the very fast right that lots of people hack up, into the very, very slippy hairpin. You can see I haven't quite mastered that yet, lap 3 or so, and yeah, we're going to have to improve that, otherwise we're going to get swallowed up. But yeah, a little bit quiet here, just pumping out the lap times, you know, trying to get a feel for the kart still and get some heat into those tyres as much as we can, and go back on board with Bailey. He is fighting with one of the racing drivers, I'm going to call them racing drivers. They've got nice helmets and things, I'm very jealous of. But yeah, he's fighting side by side, and he tried to hang this one around the outside at the hairpin, but it didn't quite work. He's just going to have to give up the position. But it's no contact, so it's nice and clean so far. And as soon as he gets to the top of the ramp, it goes red. A little wave to my dad there, up there on the platform, as everyone comes piling up the ramp behind Bailey. And I don't think from this position Bailey could really see the light very well, so he doesn't really get a very good reaction. So there's lights dotted around the entire track, and yeah, I mean they're only at the ends of corners, so when you're sort of, you know, at the top of ramps, I think seeing the lights is a little bit difficult. But he's going to get a little nudge up the inside and get completely shafted out wide by this other racing driver, who he was not very happy with. You might have heard a little bit of language in this, apologies for that. But yeah, he just absolutely barged in, gave him no space whatsoever. I mean, you can't really hang it around the outside there, but I mean, that was just absolute filth if I've ever seen it. So already the dirty tactics are coming out. It's a bit of fun go-karting, but it's going to get serious very quickly. It's absolute filth being handed out there to Bailey. So he's going to try and hopefully fight back with these lot, and maybe some dive bombs will be used. You can see interesting line into the long left hand there, Bailey using none of the track. But it's all a learning experience. So we're up behind the guy with the white helmet now, and you can see his space being dropped just a little bit and making a couple of errors, but it is only the first session, so we're still getting used to the track and the karts again. Into the hairpin, you can see he gets the guy, and then he just sort of gets pushed out wide. They hit the barrier. Very, very, very dirty. More filth coming out. He gets overtaken by this other guy in a blue suit. He tries to send it up the inside, but just can't, as there's a yellow. And then we're on to yellow for a little bit. So this first session there was quite a lot of yellows and reds and whatever, so back on board with me. Bailey sort of gets dropped by that group. I'm catching up on my own with the first people. I'm technically lapping these people. So I'm miles out of front. He sort of just spins out, come around to hit me. I'll do a little apology wave, but it wasn't really my fault anyway. But don't want any black flags, because I think in the next session someone does get a black flag. The last time actually came here, I got a black flag. Arguably for something that wasn't my fault. I was the one getting around, but I got the black flag. But anyway, that's for another day. We get up the inside of that guy, and then this guy goes extremely deep. And we're side by side. I couldn't really get him on exit, but we're going to go for the old switchback of dreams. Old switcheroo. He's on my right. I can cover it off, and then he goes for the biggest dive bomb of the millennium. So yeah, I didn't really see that coming. I had to turn out of it at the apex, but then he just goes horrifically wide, and to meet barrier in the on the outside of the ramp corner. So that made that a little bit easier for us. But that was pretty much end also of that session, I'm pretty sure. Bailey's catching up with these guys right at the very end. Yeah, so he's getting overtaken, so he's fighting this blue guy from a lot of these sessions actually. Session 2, Session 3. He also fights, I believe, this guy and another guy in blue suits. It's very hard to tell the difference between people, but yeah. And he's also getting overtaken by someone behind, but he managed to defend off position nicely. So that's pretty good. A little bit of oversteer there on the exit of the little hairpin. Down the ramp then, into the hairpin again. lots and lots of oversteer, and you can't really catch it, and just gets overtaken by these two guys, unfortunately. So it's all still a learning experience. But yeah, Bailey not doing too bad. You can probably tell the difference between our driving styles. Bailey's pretty aggressive, but yeah, it's interesting to see. But yeah, that is pretty much the end of this session. Fairly quiet one for me, because I managed to I was in the lead, managed to just run away, and that was that, to be honest. But Bailey had some really nice fights there with people. Everyone deploying their filth tactics on him. But yeah, there you go, there's the yellow for the end of that session. So yeah, that was a pretty nice session. Clean on the most part, especially for me. I mean, I had 3 overtakes that time, and just yeah, and that was pretty much it. But yeah, we're going into the pit. I don't know really where to go, but I presume I just go down this one, so I do, and it ends up being the right one. But yeah, that was the end of that session. Nice. I believe I was first, and Bailey, I think, was 4th or 5th, about second or 2 behind. Thumbs up there from the driver behind, and we move on to the next session. This one, if you thought that one was nice and clean and chill, this one is the complete opposite. For both me and Bailey, this is just absolute filth if I ever saw it. Thumbs up there to Bailey. We're absolutely stoked. This is a really fun experience. We got a free session, so usually you do 2 15-minute sessions, but we had a voucher to do 3, which was nice, so even more karting time. But you can see already we were getting pushed out of the pit lane, so that's a surprise. But here's Bailey's group up in front. This is what was going on at the hairpin, just all manners of carnage. But if you thought that was bad, you can go on board with me now, and this was my experience of the hairpin coming down. So I'm sort of blocked on the inside, I've got nowhere to go, and I just get rammed up the arse 3 times by that lot. So yeah, I don't know what I was really supposed to do there. I had nowhere to go. You can see I've got the frustration hand coming up, the Seb Vettel hand. Yeah, I was not too happy with that, but we move, and we dispatched off racing driver number 1 as he gets caught behind this guy in the green suit, and we go immediately up the inside on the double left. And I was fuming. I was like, right, I've got to catch these guys now. Made a little mistake there on the hairpin, just over-correcting the car, over-driving just a little bit. And you can see I actually communicate to the guy behind, come on, let's go and get these guys together, because I knew this guy was quick. I could, I kind of presumed that with all the gear, but you're not going to have all the gear if you're not at least fairly quick. But yeah, we're already catching up to the group in front who are fighting massively down the ramp. Then you can see Karma there, as the guy who rammed us initially is now in the barrier himself, so that was nice. Free position for us up behind the guy in the red suit now. And yeah, we're going to see how many people we can dispatch in this session. You can see I got the guy, racing driver, right behind me. And yeah, I think he was on the charge, because I beat him in lap time last time. We go for a mighty send on the inside. It doesn't really pay off. I was actually going to let him through. I backed off, but then he went wide anyway, so I just thought, right, let's just take the position. But all that fighting has allowed Mr. Racing Driver to come right back up the inside, sort of pushing me wide a little bit there. I wasn't too pleased with that. But we move anyway, and he goes up the inside, so we lose the position there. It was a little bit unfortunate, but it is what it is. And we can actually, this is good, because we can just stick behind, see where we're quicker, see where we're slower, sort of learn his lines if they're quicker, and size a move up where he's weak. You can see the hairpin there, still not quite getting it quite right. There's a little bit of not polished concrete on the inside of the kink, which I realised halfway through also this session that was actually really grippy, so end up using that and gaining a lot of time. But you can see the race driver pulling out a little bit, but he hasn't completely run away, which I was really happy with, so I clearly got a little bit of pace to keep up with him. I mean, I beat him in the first session, Up the ramp there, you can see I think my weight advantage is coming in handy as I get loads of speed up the ramp into the hairpin at the top, grazing the inside barrier on the double left. You know, just setting up these corners nicely. I'm sort of setting up a move now, trying to get a better exit than him. And you can see here, this is his trouble corner, I think, because we get very, very close. The gap is certainly closed down the ramp. He's very good here. This is probably my trouble corner, this hairpin still. You can see we're fighting over it, and there we go. We use a little bit of the concrete, but unfortunately it goes red. I'm going to be a little bit cheeky under the red and just going to creep up because I see a move opportunity here. Bailey is only just up the road. He can actually see me. I'm the car right behind the two in front. And it goes green, and we absolutely mince the racing driver. We get the reaction. He goes for a reply move instantly up the inside, but with the right hander being next, there's nothing you can do. And I was like, right, I got him, let's just run away. So I've got to try and get past this guy in the orange suit who blocks the thing, and I've got really nowhere to go, so can't really go anywhere there. We sort of Jason Plato bump our way past this guy. So he's turning left and I'm on his inside, so I'm coming through, mate, which we do. And then he wasn't very happy, and he just gives me a massive punt, which I was not very happy with at all. You can see shaking my head there in frustration and disappointment. I said Vettel hand came up there twice just to show my frustration. So more filth being handed out. No barrier entries just yet, but apart from that guy in the white helmet at the start. But we've got now to try and run away from Mr. Racing Driver and catch up with Bailey, because Bailey is one of the two cars up ahead, and I want to catch Bailey. And try and overtake him again, because the last session I kind of just ran away from him and didn't get a chance to battle. But you can see the gap there into the next car is fairly big. I've already got a gap on the racing driver, and this was really nice because I had some pace over this guy clearly. So it proves he doesn't need to have all the gear, still be quick. I bought some clubs at Christmas, and away we go. So yeah, you can see we're already catching up with Bailey and the guy he's fighting with, blue, yellow, as we go down the ramp. So I can't overtake here, just have to keep it nice and slow, about half or so the racing speed that we were doing. And then as soon as it goes green, we can fight again. And I believe it's going to go green as we go onto the long straight or so. So yeah, it was fairly long yellow. I think someone just put it in the barrier or something, or been pushed into the barrier, most likely, as it was utter filth everywhere. But yeah, we go green, down the long straight, into the hairpin. You can see the racing driver guy is still there. He must have gained a little bit of time under the yellow. I've been nice and courteous, but yeah, he's gaining a little bit of time, but we don't want to worry about that. We just want to focus in on the front, and I think that makes our driving a little bit better if we're not focusing behind too much, otherwise we will make mistakes. So yeah, we're catching up with Bailey and the other guy, and you're going to see the loveliest double overtake ever. This is probably my best overtake of the entire day. See, it's all concertinaed up into the hairpin, and then they both sort of go wide and follow each other. I'm going to take the first one, and I go up the inside of Bailey as well. Lovely little move there. This is what Bailey saw. Up the inside I go. You can see there with the helmet, so he knows it's me. He knows it's me, he points at me. He's like, yes, right, James has got me. Now he's going to want to try and fight back, so I had to actually defend from this blue guy, because he almost got me here into the straight, so I sort of just semi-cover it off. He doesn't go for the move, and yeah, we can continue on our way. And now Bailey has got the racing driver behind him. We'll see if he can defend off him, but that's a terrible line through there. That's not going to help him, but he's just going to try and keep with the blue guy as he gets rammed again at the hairpin, and then rammed again at the hairpin. So more filth, disgusting moves coming up, and you can see Bailey is not happy with that. The Seb Vettel hands are coming out for Bailey now, as the two racing drivers just pile their way through. No no sportsmanship there, just utter filth. But we move on. Bailey looking for a move then into the hairpin. Can't quite get it. Goes for another little move into the hairpin. Doesn't quite work. He's a little bit too far back. But he's going to try and just put them under pressure a little bit more. And yeah, try and keep with them basically. Because you want to fight a racing driver, won't you? But yeah, up the ramp. Losing a little bit of time. Yeah, the racing drivers are sort of just pulling away now. But yeah, he's just going to want to try and keep with them and fight them basically. Yeah, starting to green. I'm surprised because there's utter filth everywhere on this track, and I think there was fights of up to like 6-7 cars all on the same piece of track. So that's when it got really, really messy. The third session was utter carnage that you're about to see. So yeah, you can see the race drivers have got probably about 2.5 second gap or so already. So Bailey's going to have a miracle here, just find some pace. You can see a lovely little drift there around the hairpin, around the double left rather, and more drift attempts, a little Scandi flick into the hairpin that ends up just being understeer in a cart, but it's fine. Back to me then, and I've left Bailey and all the others behind, and just running away basically. See who we're going to overtake here, because there are a few cars I believe in front of me. Yeah, this is another opportunity for me to basically just pump out some clean laps. I've got clean air, I can go as quick as I like. And try and put my name on the top of the leaderboard again in this second session. I believe I think second in this one. Can't quite remember. This was end of January, so we didn't get a picture of the timing screens. But yeah, I think I was second after the guy in the white and the green helmet. So the guy that rammed Bailey in the in the first session into the barrier. So I think he was just a tad. I think it was a tenth or something quicker than me, but I was fighting for the majority of this session. But yeah, that was pretty much that session, and yeah, we're gonna come into the pit lane again, and that's 30 minutes of racing for us already. So we've got 15 minutes left to go. We've got one more session. That was a really fun session actually. There was a lot of nice fights and battles with basically everyone really, and this guy at the start of the next session is going to be adjusting his tyre pressures cheeky on a hire car, which is a bit sweaty, but so yeah, I wasn't too pleased with that, and I'm actually going to point it out to the marshal when he comes back round. So Marshall's already noticed that he's done it. He could hear the hissing as the pressured air is leaving his tyres. So basically, if you let out more air, the tyre becomes squishier and more grippy, especially on a surface like this. So yeah, I was not too happy with that, because he's gaining an unfair advantage. So I decided actually to have a little word. I first tried to communicate what he's done to Bailey, and then we're going to have a little word with the marshal to ask him why he's cheating. Naughty.
Why did you take pressure out of his car?
Huh?
Why did you take pressure out of his car?
I take pressure out of it?
No, why did you?
I saw him. You're not meant to.
No, exactly.
You're not meant to, no.
Yeah, you tell him that.
No, you got unfair advantage.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, after that little talk with the marshal, I was not best pleased because he's getting an unfair advantage. The marshal knows, but yeah, we're going to head out anyway for this final session. And now after seeing that, I was determined to beat that guy, because I wanted to prove him wrong and see that actually you just need pace and not better tyre pressures in a hire car. So we're going to go out for this final session then, down the ramp for the first time, grazing the wall on the outside. Now you can see we're using that little bit of not polished concrete on the exit of the hairpin, and we can get much better traction. But yeah, you can see already a massive fight is happening. So including me, it's probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carts at least at this point. And you can see looking up the inside there on the double left, but the gap is always going to close there. So that was a bit stupid, but yeah, we're going to get the old switcheroo on him anyway, and we're going to go up the inside into the hairpin. You can see it's definitely more than 5 karts now. That's probably about 7 or 8 karts all in this one section of track. The guy in the red got a nice little switchback on me, so that was a nice little move from him. And it's all going to get concertinaed up at the hairpin as this guy goes for a massive ramming attempt. And it gets us a free position at least, but it was not very, very clean at all. Witnessed murder with my own eyes. But yeah, down the ramp again. Only a 50-second lap or so, the lap is very quick, and you can see the same section of track only after a minute or so. But you can see the gaggle of karts, if that's a technical term, the gaggle of karts up in front. We're going to get a nice inside move on the guy in the red, and I think it is yellow briefly then, and then it goes to green. Hence why we stopped in the middle. Into the hairpin then, we're going to try and run away from the guy in the red suit behind us and catch the guy in the red suit in front of us. Up the ramp then and into the hairpin through the double left, and you can see we're fighting oversteer already. And this was probably the moment that I realised, hang on, this kart feels a little bit different now. But we're going to carry on anyway, go for a little outside move, but it's never really going to work on the outside there of the corner of that nature. And we end up actually having to defend sort of into the kink after the ramp. Down into the hairpin another time, and it's all getting a bit messy. Apology hit there, and then he sort of just runs me out wide anyway. So yeah, we had both the apology hand and the Seb Vettel annoyance hand all within about 2 seconds. Just to show the carnage so far, and you can see the mighty gaggle of cars up ahead. So we've got 3 cars up ahead. I think 2 or so are up the road a little bit further. So we're going to try and battle with these guys. See a guy in the blue, so I don't think that is Bailey, but I'm not sure. Bailey is number 22, I'm number 17 for the majority of this session. You'll see why that changes in a minute. But yeah, up behind the red guy, and dive bombs aplenty into these hairpins there. This part of the track, the top bit, is actually grippier than the bottom bit. You probably noticed after sliding downstairs. So that's where people tend to go for moves, and then it all just gets bunched up. We're going to go for an inside move here, avoiding contact, and then unfortunately it's a red. This guy ends up speeding along anyway and keeps the position, so that's a little bit cheeky of him, but never mind. That's the least filth we've seen probably all day, to be honest, as it's been constant cart to cart bashing. It's more like dodgems at this point, to be honest. We're going to having a look for a move there, but we're way too far back. I didn't really fancy a send like in session 2 when we went for an absolute dive bomb of Millennium. Another guy in a red suit. We'll come through the double left. Really like this corner. You can just clip the inside wall there, and then we're just going to get sent from the guy in number 4 as it all bunches up. So we're losing a lot of time here behind this guy and all fighting like this. You can't get a clean lap at all, but it is only a bit of fun karting, and you want to have some good battles anyway. So into the hairpin, it's all kicking off in front. You can hear cries of frustration as the guy in the orange suit gets pinned out wide. He's going to stick it on the inside. We're going to get hit massively from behind as it all continues up. That ends up being another double overtake as we sort of get pushed through. So that's all helped. Up towards the hairpin again. Lots of hairpins. You've probably heard me say hairpin probably 100 times now in this video. But yeah, we're going to catch up with this guy into the hairpin, and yeah, we dispatched of him, and now on board with Bailey. He's going to commit murder right into the hairpin. He puts his hand up, but that was all him. He goes steaming into the hairpin and hits the guy in the white. And yeah, it sort of sails wide here. I think he's actually trying to look for me, because at this point he'd probably realise I'm actually catching him up now. and this guy not absolutely gets shafted into the barrier by someone up in the front, and I was not happy with that. Found that absolutely hilarious while we were watching this. Just gets spun around into the barrier. So we're under yellow because of that. This guy actually is overtaking under yellow, so naughty naughty. And then it goes green, unfortunately for Bailey's cries for help. So yeah, he's going to have to send, and he goes for a massive send up the inside on this guy and gets it done. Nice little move there. So up the ramp again, and he seems to be defending people off alright actually. So yeah, he's got some nice moves there. He managed to defend off the speeding guy in the yellow zone. So some people I don't think could either see the lights from where they were, or just, you know, were so focused on driving they actually didn't notice them at all. You can see he's actually pulling out a gap here, and then he's actually gone. It's James. He's actually seen me behind, so I'm actually catching this group. I'm there just behind the blue guy, and we're going to try and overtake Bay again, and send him hopefully not to the shadow realm, but if it comes to it we might have to. So yeah, we're fighting the guy behind, coming through the hairpin, the doggle left, sorry. And here we go, round the outside. We're going to go for the most beautiful switchback of dreams. I think this guy is actually taken aback by the switchback, and yeah, we get the move done, cover it off, and now it's Bailey's turn to get overtaken. Clipping the inside wall there on the double left. He goes a little bit deep into here. We're going to get a little switchback. Can't quite get him, and he sort of brakes, and the speed is so different, so thing that I just couldn't. I didn't really expect to stop, so I actually punt him, and we go up the inside. Bailey was not too happy. James, we meet again, so code name for me, I guess. And he goes up the inside, and yeah, he notices me again, and yeah, we actually overtaken. Bailey not very happy there. Apologies for the language, but he's getting absolutely bullied by this guy in the blue suit behind. I've already ran away up the ramp. I'm probably about a second or so ahead now, but the fight was nice while it lasted. A little move into the hairpin, and Bailey noticed me. It was quite funny. But yeah, you can see just pivoting the car through these hairpins. Bailey's going to have to try and keep the blue guy behind, and yeah, he's actually going to get overtaken. He was not happy to be driven into the wall there, out of the hairpin, but yeah, we move on. No black flags handed out so far. I mean, this was fairly late at night. I think the session actually ended at like 10:30 or 11 or something, so I think all the stewards were like, oh, it's the last session of the day, let's just let them have fun. Carts aren't getting damaged anyway, they've only got plastic bumpers, so it's all good. And yeah, we're going to go back on board with me here, and you can see actually how much slower the car is now. And yeah, I started to worry, hang on, have I got a problem with this car? We go round for another lap. This was probably a mistake, because I probably could have got more laps in, but yeah, you can see here I'm actually like trying to push the car. I'm looking, I can't remember which side the lights are on the car. I'm going to see what colour the lights are when I get an opportunity. Obviously down into the ramp it's not a great opportunity to do that, but you can see I've just got no acceleration whatsoever out of the hairpin, and yeah, I'm going to try and look for the lights when I can. I'm just a bit confused why I'm so slow all of a sudden. You can see the hand is going up in frustration and confusion. Bailey and the other guy are going to be catching me at a very fast pace and knots, and you can see I'm actually going to get sent into the hairpin, and I just point Bailey through because I don't want him to lose time, and I want him to fight the guys up ahead. I've got absolutely no pace up the ramp. You can see this is Bailey's POV. I just point him through because I have no idea what is going on with my car, but it's probably just run out of charge or something. These are electric carts, so maybe the 3 sessions it's run out of charge, and yeah, you can see I'm just looking down in confusion. I try to I do it so many times, I try to actually point to the marshal what's going on. So we're going to go into the pit lane and have a word with him.
It was really slow all of a sudden. Really, really slow. Like, what's going to do?
Ah,
No problem.
that's a guy. Good job you felt it. Jump up.
Yeah. Hands forward, hands forward.
Go forward.
Yeah, that's good.
So after some antics with my car actually running out of charge, but also some absolutely beautiful drifting from Bailey, we go out for, we've probably literally got 2 minutes or so of this session, so I'm going to try and get as many laps in as I can. And already I can tell that this car is so much quicker, and it's so much quicker I actually sort of bottle the kink down into the hairpin and graze the outside wall. They're sliding into the on the exit of the hairpin, but unfortunately I only got 1 lap before the session ended, so yeah, a bit unfortunate there, but overall a really good day. Massive thanks to Team Sport. They were, all the marshals and everything were absolute stars, putting up with our absolutely filthy moves. But yeah, that is it from this video. If you did enjoy, like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Got some very exciting stuff coming up, so make sure to stick around for that. But that is it from me. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.